Welcome, everybody, to another episode of HomeKit Insider. It is me, Andrew O'Hara, and King of the Apple Pencil is Stephen Robles. How you doing, man?
I'm doing well. Let me grab a real hook. King of the Apple Pencil.
Okay, now where do you have your USB-C to Lightning adapter?
I need this one. You actually need a wireless to USB-C to Lightning adapter just to use this with the new.
I hear they're coming out with a MagSafe adapter for that one, though, so that all of that can just clip to the back of your iPhone.
Andrew, we have so much HomeKit to talk about today. We don't have time to rant about it, but listen, I can't even with the Apple Pencil. I don't know what's happening there. But anyway, listen, you got a level lock. You showed me the thing. We have a new Apple TV coming out. We didn't even know that was coming. And probably most importantly, you have a new baby. What?
That is true. We swung by our local hospital. We picked it up. Highly recommend. They're great.
Highly recommend.
Yeah, pretty cool.
5-star. There was a press release. There was a press release for Apple TV.
This is
iPad,
a first-gen
iPad
model, though, for us. This is a first-gen.
No Lightning or USB-C. This is totally wireless charging.
No, it will try to stick things in all sorts of places, though. So
that's right.
You got to watch that, I guess.
You do have to watch that. Congratulations, man. Listeners, if this is your first episode ever tuning in, first of all, welcome. Great show to tune in on. And Andrew and Faith just had a baby. First baby ever. Look at that. Not ever. Yeah. I mean, there's been babies before this one, but your first.
We did.
Baby.
We're very excited. Faith did amazing. Baby's great. That's awesome. It's been very fun, and I pretty much didn't have to miss anything on the show yet so far.
You have not missed an episode. That kudos to you. I mean, you have not missed a HomeKit Insider episode, even having a baby. It was timed perfectly. So kudos
Faith
to
was
Faith.
really committed to it. She's like, no, it's got to be on the weekend so that you can get back to HKI. And I was like, that's why you're the best wife. And,
that is pretty incredible. Congrats. Eventually, we'll have to do an entire baby smart home roundup. And how now it's real world use case. They're all going through the ring.
I know we've been testing things. We've got stuff that we're testing,
trying
out, and
Very cool.
I'm going to start working on some reviews, and we'll round it up here on the show.
Awesome.
Very interesting on what kind of is working out, what's not.
That is very cool. So we will do that soon. That's very exciting. Ton of HomeKit news today, announcements, new Apple TV Plus. We're going to get to all of that. 2 5-star review shout-outs, Harold John from USA and Todd Page, friend of mine from USA. Hello, and thank you for those. He also liked my Big's Feet comment, which is the correct pluralization of Sasquatch, is Big's Feet. But anyway.
You plural both of them. Yep, exactly.
You plural both. That's how you do it. Okay, so actually some HomeKit news, new announcements. First of all, I have not heard of this brand before. Maybe I don't think we've talked about it. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but Avia Lock, Avia. Have we talked about them before?
No, I don't think so. It doesn't seem like it's dingling any bells.
I do not recall. So this is Avia, A-V-I-A, and they have announced a new HomeKit Smart Lock with, drumroll please, Apple HomeKey. This will be, as far as I know, the third lock. You got the Schlage. Last week we talked about the Level Lock Plus debacle about, it's not getting HomeKey, but maybe it got HomeKey. We're going to talk about the Level Lock Plus that also got HomeKey. Andrew literally has it in his possession, in his hand. So we're going to talk about that. But this will be the third HomeKey smart lock. It is not available to purchase just yet, but they do say that it will be available to purchase in the U.S. And I don't know if it will be purchased in other countries, but there's a notification if you want to put your name and email to be notified when you can purchase it. This is kind of a wild design. They built I
can't tell what I'm looking at. It looks a little funky, to be honest.
It looks like a weird Photoshop of a lock, but it's how they design it. So basically the deadbolt on the outside, they built in a keypad onto the deadbolt. So when you see this thing from the outside, there's the numbers 1 through 0. You got all 10 digits on there. So you don't have to have a separate keypad, which I understand the convenience. That seems like, yes, that would be something that you would want, but it does make it look kind of crazy. It looks a little crazy. But
what I also, maybe this is just me, Stephen, with my kind of branding stuff, but it's got the big Avia logo that like glows on the sides. Like as you approach it and like the numbers light up, it glows on the side. And like I want to be clear on the size of this thing. It's the exact same size as a normal Deadbolt. Like we're going to talk about the level one. It's the same size like that exterior level one. If you've seen that, it looks like a normal sized Deadbolt. That curved surface along the top. It's got 2 rows of 5 digits of numbers, and then a glowing Avia logo on the side.
It does. And on the inside, there is a very large, round rectangular deadbolt. So it is, this is going to be pretty big on the inside of your door. So, I mean, again, I guess the convenience. I'm curious if that Avia logo is actually on the final product, because that is a large logo. I mean, this thing looks like a NASCAR on your door.
They animated it to light up. I don't think they did that just for a PR image or something.
Yeah,
this isn't their only lock, too, by the way. I had not heard of them, but they've got other locks here, including others that work with HomeKit. Not HomeKey, but with HomeKit.
Right. So this one was the new because it was HomeKey enabled. So, I mean, listen, kudos. Great that we have another HomeKey option. I mean, not exactly yet. Again, they said should be on sale soon in the U.S., so great HomeKey. The design is something. It's supposedly only going to come in one color, too, which is a satin chrome. That works with your door, great. But if you needed like a satin black or a bronze, you might be out of luck there. So interesting product. Nice to see a new one. So Avia, aviary lock. Okay, so that's that. Now VOCOlinc, the brand, we've talked about the VOCOlinc air purifier. They've made other products in the past. They have contact sensors. They actually have a new floor lamp. This is the VOCOlinc RGBIC Smart Corner Floor Lamp. It is a multicolored, so you can actually have multiple colors on it. I wouldn't say it's actually a gradient. I don't see like a gradient like flow from one color to another like you would see with like a hue gradient. But to have a tall-ish floor lamp like this where you can change the colors, this is a HomeKit floor lamp. Pretty tall, like over 4 feet tall. I think it's like 52 inches.
It's almost 5. No, it's 57. It's almost 6 feet or 5 feet tall.
Right. And so pretty nice, pretty tall. This is amazing. It's on sale right now. Normally it's $70. It's on sale for $52. But when you compare this to the Hue sign lamp, which is a gradient lamp, it has a little more, color adjustable features there. Also has like ambient color temperature throughout the day. But that's like several $100s. I know because I literally have one right off camera, and that's what lights the color of my back wall. But for $70 even, when it's not on sale, for a floor lamp like this that's this tall, I typically reserve this to do on the show, but I'll just let you know I bought one before the show because this lamp, I mean, super affordable for this kind of lamp. I look for this style specifically for this office, and there's not many standing floor lamps that are HomeKit compatible that I like. There was like the Hue one, and I only got one because, again, it's like several $100s. But this one for $70, I was like, I'm going to try it right away. And you can buy it. It's for sale right now, shipping. So, yeah, I got one. We'll see what it's like.
This looks fantastic. I mean, honestly, it looks fantastic. The fact that it's almost 5 feet tall, it does have at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, at least 7 addressable zones in this that you can configure. I don't know if it's more because I'm trying to look at the page, Stephen, and I did not see like how many exact zones it was promising.
It doesn't. It's not super specific, but my only thing is if it's bright.
7 zones. Yeah.
Okay, 7 zones. Yeah, my only thing was being this inexpensive compared to the Hue. I'm curious about brightness because the Hue sign lamp gets bright enough where you can like cast color on a wall like this, and mine is about, I would say, 4 feet away from that wall, and it's still casting the light, and that's at about 90% brightness. So I'm curious brightness level of this, but if it's comparable. And you really, because I only do one color on this typically when I do a color on the back. So for one color standing floor lamp, this looks awesome. It also syncs with music and stuff. So yeah, it's pretty cool.
What I think it's more of, I don't think we're going to have an issue with brightness. I think brightness will be okay. What I think is going to suffer is the color accuracy. That's usually the number one thing that the cheaper brands will have to compromise on. Like
Sure.
I remember in the early days of Hue, it took iterations, like 3 or 4 iterations before they had like really good, like the blues and greens suffered for a bit. I'm
Right.
trying to think, there's another color that was like kind of like the orange into the red, I think was a little bit of an issue. They weren't like bad. And I have a, I can say them because I don't even know if they're alive anymore, but the Cool Geek light strip on the back of the bunny hutch. And sometimes I'll say like, turn it red. And it's like almost like a yellow. I'm like,
oh yeah, that's
really, dude. And I'll have to, but technically that one I can go into the app and I can use like our HomeKit app and I can use like the color wheel to move it a little bit and get it more exactly tuned in. But like just the color accuracy, color representation isn't always the best. I can't say if it's good or not on this RGBIC smart corner floor lamp FL2201, but it looks really good.
It looks really good. So I got one on the way. I'll review it on whatever episode when this arrives, maybe in the next week or so. So we'll see. But pretty cool. Link in show notes to that one. Now we got some bad news, Andrew. This is a little disappointing. We actually talked about HomeKit doorbell cameras last week, I think. And
I know. And go ahead. I'll jump in a second.
The rant holding. Netatmo, which was one of the big 3 video doorbells that we would recommend. It was always the Logitech Circle View, the Wemo doorbell, and the Netatmo that supported HomeKit Secure video for a doorbell camera. And just this past week, Netatmo, after promising, and this is something that I wasn't aware of, I thought it supported HSV. I already did. I already thought it supported HSV, but apparently it was supposed to be coming, and Netatmo has announced that they are not bringing it to their video doorbell, and it will not get HomeKit Secure video. They promised some other recording features coming soon or whatever, but if you got this for HomeKit Secure video, it looks like you are out of luck. They are not bringing you to it. Was I so was I wrong? Like, this didn't have HSV, and the Netatmo one never had it?
That's what I was going to say. Last week, I wasn't sure. Like, you said that they had it, and I immediately started trying to Google while we were on the show. I'm like, I didn't think it had rolled out yet, but I wasn't sure. So what actually had happened was that they had rolled it out to beta folks. So their internal and external ambassadors is what they would call them. So some folks, I believe, had this to try. So I think that's where a little bit of the confusion of whether it did or didn't have HSV yet, but it had not fully rolled out to the entire population. That's where the asterisk was.
Okay, so it was never widely available. You could not just buy one and have HSV, and now there's no chance. Like, you're not going to get HSV with the Netatmo. This is disappointing, man. I mean, they do HSV. Well, now I'm going to look it up probably while you comment on this, but their floodlight camera is also supposed to be HomeKit Secure video. I thought that supported it.
I know for
already.
Sure their indoor camera supports it.
Their indoor
I think that was their
camera.
first one.
Right. But so the smart outdoor camera, we had talked about it several
Do some
times.
double checking.
I'm double checking right now, but I thought that they already supported all the stuff. So yeah, their outdoor camera says compatible with HomeKit Secure video. This is their floodlight cam. Been out a year or 2 now, and that supported it. This makes no sense it makes no sense. I guess they said some of the reasons were like the temperature or whatever, and some of the limitations on the actual like HSV compatibility with hardware or something. I don't know, man, but this kind of stinks. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be here and be Netatmo's advocate because there's a lot of things that they did right here.
Okay.
First, they had been working on this for a long time. They had promised it. They delivered to other products, so we know that their intention was there to like actually follow through with this. And they had been, actively trying and working on it. It's not like Ring where they just said it and then nothing ever happened. Other than saying it's coming, I promise. They did all of that. The second thing I think they did right was they didn't just kind of like, you know how sometimes news gets broken as they just respond to a customer email or some crap like that?
Right.
No, they got out in front of it and published an entire mini page of FAQs on more intricacies of HSV and all of that stuff and why it's not able to work with this model. I think that is more transparent. Whether you buy the reasons or not is a separate issue, but I like that they actually got out in front of it and tried to answer these questions that people were going to have. Lastly, I still recommend this doorbell. This is still a fantastic doorbell that I would recommend to pretty much anyone. And after this news broke and we were kind of chit-chatting on Twitter, there were several other people who had bought this and were like, I would still recommend this doorbell. It's still a really good doorbell. And it still works with HomeKit. Even if it's not HSV, it still works with HomeKit. You have like a local micro SD card you can sync to a Dropbox or FTP account. When someone like motion is detected, it'll show up on your Apple TV. When somebody rings it, it'll ring all of your HomePods or your Apple TVs or whatever it is that you want to ring. It's got all of those other HomeKit features. So for me, the HSV is a smaller part of it. And so that new feature they talked about is called advanced recording. And basically, I guess backing up, their main issue here is heat. That's what they're fighting against to get HSV to work. And if people remember super old episodes, we talked about like wireless HomeKit cameras and stuff like that. And there was like a big issue with battery drain. And that's why you really don't see wireless HomeKit cameras. You'll see a wireless camera that'll sync to a base station. And technically it's the base station that's HomeKit compatible, right? And those will talk to the cameras because HomeKit requires constant check-ins. And with HSV, you basically need a like full running stream of 1080p video at 30 frames per second at like all times. This is something we knew before Netatmo came out with their FAQs on what happened, and that is a lot on a compact device to do. And people may roll their eyes at this issue, but then we've seen ones that like from Logitech that have constant overheating issues that people complained about, even in like cold months, just because the sun is hitting them. It's a HD camera in direct sunlight streaming video over a Wi-Fi. They get hot. So Netatmo had developed this whole way of basically capturing 1 or 2 frames a second, analyzing, and then going about its business. That's how they were kind of doing it before, but when they tried to integrate HSV, it wasn't working. It would work in like a controlled environment indoors without any sunlight or anything, but as soon as you put it out into the sun, it was getting too warm, and then you had restarts or dropped off video feeds while it was trying to cool down its internals. So I kind of don't blame them for that. Like this product came out ahead of time. It wasn't designed when like HSV was a thing, and they did their best to try to make it work. You have Logitech who like designed that camera specifically for HSV. They don't have half of the other features that Netatmo does, and they're still having overheating issues, or at least they were having overheating issues. I think they've been trying to do some software updates to fix things, but that was designed exclusively for HSV and still ran into those. Netatmo was doing more, promising more, and tried to make it work, and they fell short. So it's unfortunate. You shouldn't buy a product today with the promise of a software update tomorrow. Like we've said it many times. You've said it, Steven. It's just a rookie move. I think they did the right thing here. I think the doorbell is still a great option for people. I don't use a HomeKit Secure video doorbell because I think Apple's stuff is a little slow sometimes. Like you've talked about missing recording sometimes with HSV. I have not had that issue like with the Arlo one. It just processes differently and not on your home hub. So until Apple kind of gets that more reliable, I have not jumped to them for my main camera yet. The only other thing is they tried to spin this as a positive because they do that advanced recording feature, which is something that HomeKit would do. Because HomeKit has that 24/7 like feed essentially running and ready to record, it's able to capture the moments before like a person arrives or action arrives on the camera. So they're basically kind of mimicked that with their own advanced recording feature that, temperature permitting, it's able to capture a couple seconds of footage before someone like arrives on your doorstep. So that's a new feature that's going to roll out to users, however they're recording now. So that's at least some benefit for the people who still have this camera.
So just to reiterate what you were saying, it is a fact that Netatmo idles at 2 frames per second when it's not recording, senses motion, and then it will flip into the recording mode. Apple requires for HomeKit Secure Video 30 frames per second, constantly feeding, and then it records that. And that's why it can also record that prior to motion kind of thing, because there's that constant 30 frames per second feed. Netatmo also wanted to support more doorbell chimes, which, depending on your chime, the voltage is very different. And so they wanted to support 8 volts to 230 volts, whatever chimes, which is a very wide range, compared to something like the Logitech Circle View doorbell, which only supports chimes from 8 volts to 24 volts. And I will say, like, when I installed my Logitech Circle View, it has this little adapter that you have to put in your chime to really make the voltage work. Like, it is something that can be a little cumbersome. So I totally get, like, they made the hardware in 2019 trying to support as many chimes as possible. And it's a hardware thing, and it's not something like they can, push a firmware update to the doorbell and change its processing ability. If they plan for 2 frames a second and they need 30 frames a second to do HomeKit Secure video, like, I get it. So it's unfortunate. I just apologize to any listeners that might have gotten this because we said it supported HomeKit Secure video, or at least I did in the past. I was just under that impression because it was always kind of all the other Netatmo cameras did. I assumed this one did, and apparently it was just in that beta. And so if you are looking specifically for a HomeKit Secure video compatible doorbell cam, you're down to 2 options now, which is the Logitech Circle View and the Wemo doorbell camera. That's the only 2, and that is it. So another one bites the dust. I'd play the music, but we'd probably get canceled. So I'm not going to do that. Dun, dun, dun. Another one bites the dust. But listen, sometimes you need something that you can really depend on, Andrew. Sometimes you need someone to just deliver what they're going to deliver what they say they're going to deliver. And that's why, to bring us out of these doldrums, I'm happy to say that Nebia is a sponsor on this week's episode because they deliver. They deliver, Andrew. They say we're making a towel. They deliver. They're making a quick dry earth mat. They deliver. They're making shower heads.
Such a stretch. I thought you were going to take another one bites the dust, and you're like, speaking of dust.
Oh, speaking of dust.
The earth mat is made of diatomaceous earth dust.
Listen, sometimes when you go to replace your doorbell camera because you want to put a HSV one on there, you get dust on you. You get a little dirty, and you got to take a shower after that. And what you need is an 81% more powerful spray than the competition, and that's why you need the Nebia by Moen Spa shower to get yourself clean, and that thing delivers. They deliver that thing. I know because I got one. Andrew has one. I also have the quick dry earth mat and the towel that I mentioned. But listen, here's the deal. You want to get the Nebia by Moen Spa shower. It is an upgrade to your shower experience. You can swap it out in 15 minutes or less. I had never tried to replace a shower head before I did the Nebias, and it's so easy. They give you everything you need, all the instructions. They saves up to 45% water while you're showering, but it's like a spa-like experience. I really like their Quattro shower head too because there's like 4 different settings, including a high pressure one. The Quattro, you can like take it off the shower head. It's like magnetically attached, use it as a wand. It's great. Or you get the Nebia by Moen Spa shower. I love that one because it's height adjustable. The kids can raise and lower it. And you can get the magic wand attachment. Magic wand like, abracadabra. And then you just take that all over the shower. They can run with that. Abracadabra, Nebia by Moen Spa shower. I don't even know what's going on here. So it's available in 4 premium finishes, white and chrome, spot-resistant nickel, matte black, black and chrome. Andrew, I don't know if your baby can give a review of the Nebia by Moen Spa shower yet. It's probably not taking showers yet. But what would your new child say about the Nebia by Moen Spa shower?
Oh my gosh! He would say it's great, and he loves that he hates being cold. I can tell you that. So the spa shower is great because there is no cold spots. Everything in there is nice and warm. The walls are warm. The air is warm. The water is warm. It's literally like you're going into a spa.
That's right. It's like showering under a waterfall. It's wonderful. So listen, here's what you do. You get the Nebia by Moen Spa shower. It starts at just $199. And for HomeKit Insider listeners, we have the deal. Nebia.com/HomeKit. Use the promo code HomeKit, all one word, at checkout. You get 10% off all Nebia products. Nebia doesn't do sales, everybody. Okay, but they are long-time sponsors of HomeKit Insider, so it's a great deal to jump on. Nebia.com/HomeKit, Nebia.com/HomeKit. At checkout, save 10% with promo code HomeKit. And I try that quick dry earth mat. That's one of my favorite things. I still love that thing. So that's all right. Now we're out of the doldrums. We have some exciting stuff here. We got new products. We got Apple actually last week, 3 press releases, bam, 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 right in a row. And one of them, I don't even know if there were rumors about this, but the new Apple TV 4K, there was. Okay, very good. Well, yeah. So there were rumors, but we have a new, and actually it's kind of like two new Apple TVs because Apple released new 4K Apple TV models. One that's Wi-Fi only, little cheaper for the Wi-Fi only, $129. And then you can spend $20 more and get a Wi-Fi and Ethernet model. That model with the Ethernet has 128 gigabytes of storage, I believe, when you upgrade to that, which is pretty sweet. And it's a bump up from the previous storage. You used to have to pay $200 to get the 128 gigabyte models, but now it's $150 for Wi-Fi and Ethernet, plus that cheaper model that's 64 gigabytes. So that's also got a bump. The lower model got a bump in memory for 129. Two interesting things here, Andrew. The new one supports HDR10 plus, which is a good upgrade. You know, some TVs that don't do Dolby Vision do HDR10 plus. That's now in the new Apple
Samsung.
TV.
Cough.
Yeah, cough Samsung. So that's a really nice addition. It has the A15 Bionic now, so it's an upgraded chip, which, you know, we just got a new Apple TV 4K last year. I feel like this is a very quick upgrade for Apple TV. Usually we go like multiple years, and it goes from like the A8 to the A12. So nice to see that upgrade. But again, you can just get the Wi-Fi only version, but Thread, the wonderful HomeKit technology, which is smart home technology that supports all that connectivity, Thread is only available in the more expensive Ethernet model. That's interesting. And also, the Siri remote, wait for it, has gone from Lightning to USB-C for charging. Andrew, how do you feel about these changes?
Well, it's definitely muddied the waters a little bit for users, and there was already confusion on like, oh, if the high-end one supports Thread, does the lower one not support Matter? And things like that.
Right.
So I did do a helpful video for all of you out there. I walked through every single change on the new models, and I compare the two models and try to give some recommendations on which to buy. But I think that the lower-end model, Apple's trying to keep the price point lower. They killed off the Apple TV HD, the 1080p version. So that was available for like sub $100. So even though the new Apple TV 4K is notably cheaper, like quite a bit cheaper, there is no sub $100 Apple TV any longer. Apple does give a lot of Apple TVs away for free, like through cable providers, subsidies, stuff like that. So I think that's going to be where this entry-level model is going to live. It's going to be able to be a good giveaway and stuff like that. But we're talking a $20 price difference. To double the storage, 64 to 128, you're adding Thread capabilities on the high-end model, and you have the Ethernet port. So I think it's going to be worth it for most people to upgrade. I think at the same time, though, I think most people are going to be fine with the lower-end one. Not everyone has Ethernet at their thing. For our audience, you're all going to care about Thread, so go for the Thread one. But for the average person who isn't necessarily as highly invested in their smart home, you also have Thread border routers by way of like the HomePod minis and stuff like that. So I don't think you have to get the more expensive one if you don't need those like specific things. But yeah, it was a good upgrade. Garmin was out like the 2 weeks preceding this or something saying like, hey, new Apple TV's coming this fall. Pretty sure about it. It's going to be here. And yeah, here it is. I think it's a solid upgrade overall. It's also smaller, like 0.2 inches shorter. And then the width and the depth is also like 0.24, I think, inches smaller, and it's half the weight. They've taken out the fan, so it's literally gone from like 15 ounces to 7.5 ounces. Not like you're picking up and weighing your Apple TV a whole bunch, but for anyone who is using this as a makeshift mini dumbbell or something, I guess you're gonna have to buy two of them.
That's funny. I mean, and overall, I mean, it's a price drop because last year, if you wanted a 4K Apple TV, it was $180. And now, even if you get the high-end version with more storage and HDR10 plus, it's $150. So, I mean, it's great to see that price actually come down overall, even for the highest-end Apple TV you can get. So, it's a good deal.
And to be clear, Stephen, Matter is supported on both. Thread does not equal Matter. Both of these will act as a home hub and support Matter fully. The difference is that Thread accessories will not be able to connect to the entry-level
Apple TV
model,
right.
can't act as a border router. But Matter, all of that supported.
Got it. Very good. It's a nice upgrade. I got one coming. This is that comes the November 3rd, I believe. So it'll be or November.
You know,
I don't even know. Yeah,
I
got one coming though, so we can talk about it. I assume you got one coming too. I mean,
yes.
Replacing. I mean, talking about what's. I don't know if really there'll be much difference, but we'll talk about it. So yeah.
So a couple other things too. First off, we're going to mix two stories in here into one. I didn't write this in the show notes, and we should have. 16.1 is coming out like the day that this episode drops.
Yes, that's right.
It's available. iOS 16.1, iPad OS 16.1, because there's no 16 for iPad OS. So 16.1 finally coming to iPads.
Right.
We're getting those shared photo libraries. We're getting live activities, all of that stuff. And Stephen, if you look at those release notes,
yes, in
big letters, Matter. All updates support Matter. HomePod update, tvOS 16.1, iOS, iPadOS, all of them are proudly promising that this update is the full Matter compatibility update. So while we don't have products in our hands, this is the update that's supposed to support Matter. Along with tvOS 16.1, there's a refined Siri interface. Now instead of the thing on the bottom, it's in the corner and it comes up. It's stacking. It looks slick. I like it because that's available now in the RC. I've been playing around with it. It looks really good. But yeah, so some updates coming. Matter support, other new features.
Cool. Very cool. And it's the new Apple TV 4K is November 4th. So Friday, November 4th is the delivery date if you order it online or available in the store. Very cool. Now I'm excited because this rumored device that last week we thought might not happen, literally happened, launched, and is in your hands right now. So the Level Lock Plus, which is Level Lock's upgraded lock that supports HomeKey, the ever elusive HomeKey feature. Andrew, tell me, how is it?
I'm so excited to be able to talk about this, officially, and all that stuff was going down, and all the confusion, and I'm like, they're going to do it. They're going.
Yeah, and for our listeners, Andrew had information that he was not allowed to say. I did not know of this information, and so last week I was shucking and jiving like a jester, and I was like, "Oh, look at this hullabaloo!" I was like, "This is how I can't." And Andrew was like, he knew it was coming, but he just couldn't say anything. So anyway, here it is.
This is it. This is the Level Lock Plus. Oh, which was my camera? There we go. There's two different color versions. There's a black version that's available online, and then there's this brushed nickel version that's available in all of the Apple stores. You can just walk in and pick this thing up, or to order it online. And it looks exactly like previous versions, but it's this right here. This is why
it is.
People want this. That thing.
HomeKey.
The first major one launching in Apple stores that's not going to hopefully not have availability issues like the Schleg, which I also happen to have sitting upstairs in the hallway that I need to actually do something with. But Ben, those have been impossible to find. I know. There's people all over the place that can't get their hands on HomeKey locks, and I'm sitting here
just swimming in them. Like Scrooge McDuck, you got a vault of HomeKey locks. You're just swimming around.
I just dive into a bed of them at night. It's like, ow, this is painful. That's what I do. Just gonna stop. Anyway, this guy keeps the same design as the previous versions of Level Lock. So visually, you're not going to notice a thing. So none of that has changed. It supports all of the other features that you've seen on the high-end Level Lock. So the capacitive touch surface on the ring around the keyhole to lock and unlock. There are the NFC key cards that you can hand out, and you can use those to gain entry. There's physical keys that you can use to lock and unlock this with. And we now have HomeKey. You have HomeKit and you have HomeKey. It set up everything went really smooth. So I just swapped out my old Level Lock for this one, trying to keep things very specific because they look the same. but an updated version. The thing here that's interesting, this is all speculation at this point, but nothing has changed like hardware-wise. Everything looks the same. The only thing I can pinpoint that's actually changed here between the two is that it says it has not on the back of this, I guess, but they're promising a new redesigned antenna. So with the original level lock that had NFC, the only issue I ever ran into was sometimes it was fickle in using the key cards to unlock. They would work, but sometimes I feel like I had to move it around to get that exact spot that would trigger the NFC antenna and unlock the lock.
Okay.
And like I have video of like my sister-in-law coming over when we're out of town, and she's using like a key card to get in, and she's just like waving it, trying to get it to unlock. And that is what I'm guessing we have a new version. That is my guess, is they redesigned an antenna to be more reliable than it was before. So in my testing with this, it works really, really well. It's really cool to use HomeKey, and I had not got to use it before this lock. And yeah, it shows up on your Apple Watch, like if I boom, boom, up the thing on the side. I got, there's my HomeKey.
Oh, that's so
right
cool.
there.
Man.
Same thing on your iPhone. Double click the side button to open up your wallet stuff, and there's your HomeKey ready to give you access. The thing that's a little funny, that you have a lot of options with this smart lock. A lot. You can go with like all of the HomeKit stuff. You can go with like the the lock and unlock based on scenes when you come and go. So you could do it all with HomeKit, but those require you to like hit the run button when you leave or when you come home. So there's that to remember. And then at the same time, you have the stuff that's found in the Level app, which is the auto unlock functionality there. And you have that tap functionality, so you can go up and tap the outer surface of it, it'll authenticate through your phone, and unlock that way. So you already had all of those going on, not to mention keys, key cards. You can get a keypad for the side. You've got just like unlimited options now on how to unlock your door. I can't say right now that HomeKey is like the easiest way to do it. Like there are so many different ways. If at all possible, I'd rather just have it unlock and lock as you come and go. So I just enable that in the Level app, and as I leave, it locks, and then as I come home, it unlocks for me. That seems like the easiest way, and you don't have to pull out a phone or a watch to lock and unlock your house. So that's kind of like the purpose. I'm like, this is exciting, this is cool, it works really, really well. I like having that control, that functionality in your phone. And the other benefit here is that your HomeKey can still work even if your phone dies. Like it has like that reserve battery life essentially, so your phone is off, but you'll still be able to use HomeKey to gain access to your home. So that is still a benefit. The other helpful thing is in iOS 16.1, out today, you'll be able to share those keys to other people. So other people, friends and family that you want to give access to, you can share a HomeKey with them that'll go into their wallet app to gain access to your house. So that's another helpful part of it. Being able to share natively through HomeKit, because if you're looking through the Level app, you have to grant access that way, and they have to download accounts and things like that. Or you just create them a passcode or give them a key card. There's that stuff. But being able to share directly through HomeKit and showing up in Wallet, I like that. So that's one of the bigger benefits of HomeKey. But yeah, otherwise, this thing is awesome. It works great, super reliable, easy to set up and use. We did have one listener question that I don't have the name handy, so I apologize. But they asked that they're in an apartment and that they cannot swap their door lock. They say they can't use a different door lock. So they've been using in August. That's what I did when I was in an apartment, because you can just keep that on the inside and the whole outside is the same. Really easy to do. It keeps your existing key compatibility, I think is usually what it is. They want the uniformity on the outside of the doors, and they want to make sure that they have emergency access if they need to. But he wanted to know if there's ever going to be, or if there is, a HomeKey compatible lock that would fit his situation. Unfortunately, that's never going to happen because you need that NFC antenna on the outside. So if you can't tinker or change the outside of the door, there's no way for an antenna receiver to exist. So unfortunately, if you're going to have HomeKey, you have to have a new exterior part of the door. The only way this would work is if, I can't remember the brand, Steven, is it Kwikset? That has that rekey functionality where you can take your existing keys and like put it in there and like rekey the lock instantly to those keys. Yeah, I think it might be Kwikset. I'm sorry if it's not. But it's a really neat trick, and I've tested locks with it. So the only way it would work is if you happen to be using that brand on the outside of your door already, and that brand comes out with a HomeKey compatible version with the same aesthetic, and you swapped it for that one. But right now, that's not a thing.
I think it might be Kwikset. I'll put a link in show notes to this. Rekey locks easily with Kwikset SmartKey. So
that sounds correct.
That sounds correct. So I'll put that in there. I mean, also with HomeKey, I think one of the other benefits, if you're in a situation where you're going to be sharing or need to give someone access to your home and they use an iPhone or Apple Watch, I think that ability to share a HomeKey would be cool. I guess, how did that work with, I assume you shared it with Faith? Like, were you able to just kind of send her the HomeKey also, or how did that work?
No. So with HomeKey, when you set it up for the first time, it will automatically be shared to everyone in the household. So Faith is, a resident and owner here of the house, so she automatically will have HomeKey added to her devices. For people outside your home,
right,
that was not possible. That's only possible here with 16.1 and the ability to share keys. That said, I haven't tested it yet because it doesn't appear to be live. Even though I'm on the 16.1 RC, I don't have the ability to share keys in any way. But it's in the release notes as an ability. So I assume there's some sort of back end needed for like the HomeKit infrastructure to send that. Yeah, some sort of iCloud infrastructure change that has to happen when 16.1 is released. So I will watch out for that, and I would bet money that we're going to have a tip running on Apple Insider of how to share keys with HomeKey in iOS 16.1.
There you go. Very cool. Well, that's awesome, man. I'm excited. You just can't buy this thing anywhere yet. I was searching as you were talking about it. It's not on Levellock's website yet. Maybe some Apple stores have it physically in the store, but only the brushed, nickel model, not the black one. So I just want to be able to buy this thing because I think this is finally launching.
It's launching on Friday, October 21st. By the time you are all listening to this, it will be available.
Okay, directly from Apple, I assume.
No, from Apple. Apple, like you said, Apple will have the satin nickel color, this snazzy fella, and then if you want the black version, that they said it's online. And I'm not 100% if it's online through Apple or online through Level, but we will put the appropriate links in the show notes for both versions for anyone interested. But yeah, it'll be available by the time everyone's listening to this. And hopefully they're in stock. People have already bought these, Steven. Like, I'm sitting here with embargoed information and I can't talk about it. And there's other people, like prominent YouTubers that are like sharing videos on TikTok of setting up the Levellock Plus. I'm like, this is a product that officially doesn't exist. And people are buying them on Apple Store shelves and testing them out.
I saw that and I was like, that seems really early to like be making a video of this when literally no one else has or can.
Apple jumped the gun and put them on store shelves, which is crazy for a company that is like so specific about a product's release date. They have these special agreements with FedEx and UPS and everything on getting products delivered exactly on a release date, and yet they're like, yeah, this is fine. Let's put this on the shelf.
Whoops,
this is good.
Oh, hey, they just showed up. That's something. Okay. Well, they'll be on sale by the time you listen to this, and you can get it. And I think this might be
There's a video, too. We'll link that.
Yes.
I'll have a video up on launch day for all of you guys to check out.
Very cool. I'm excited for that lock. It's going to be a good one. Also, speaking of things I'm excited about, I got a new light switch. It's not as exciting, but I got a new light switch. And it's the new Eve light switch with thread. I actually have a picture. I'm going to try and be fancy and throw it up here. So if you're watching at youtube.com/HomeKit Insider, you can see it. My Eve light switch, I actually installed it last night. So I did right in time to record this show. You'll see it there. It's actually on the left. And I have my Lutron fan control there on the right. Oh, Andrew's got one too. Look at that. They wrapped plastic around that switch like intensely. Like you have to like really cut that plastic off and it's like threaded through the thing. But anyway, Here, let me stop sharing my picture so you can see. There you go. There, Andrew has it in person. He's holding the switch. There it is. It is 3-way compatible, which is nice. And I didn't have it in. I don't put it in a 3-way thing. I have it in my 2-gang, like you just saw that picture. But I like it. It has thread, obviously very responsive, very fast. Whenever I tap it in the home app to turn it on or off, it's like instant, which is cool. The entire button is a capacitive surface, so that is something to keep in mind. Where it's not a like there's no buttons, nothing depresses. It is literally all capacitive touch. There's a little green light on the thing that will be lit when the light is on and off when the light is off. It's in my studio, so I just looked over right there just to make sure, the light turns off when the light's off. And so just fully capacitive touchscreen. I do like it. What one weird thing is it comes with a wall plate. So if you're just doing the one switch, you want to use the wall plate, it comes with that. It also comes with this like secondary wall plate. And this is like, if you're going to put it, I guess if you want to use a different exterior wall plate, but still use this part on it, you can do that. In my situation, I was putting it in a 2-gang box right next to my fan control. And so I needed to take this off. But unfortunately, this is the part that has the HomeKey QR code. And so I'm like, most light switches, like my Levitons, my Wemos, they all have the HomeKit code on like the most inner part of the light that is on the light. Like if you ever need to scan it again, which I've routinely had to reconnect a couple Wemo and Leviton lights like during the hurricane and we lost power, I had to reconnect some of those when it came on and I needed the HomeKit code. And so I took the the faceplate off and rescanned the HomeKit code because it's right there on the Levitons and all that. But with this Eve one, it's here on this plate. So if you're using it just in a single light switch situation, then it's fine. You'll probably use this wall plate that came with it. But in my 2-gang situation, I don't have the HomeKit code directly on the light anymore. And so, I'm going to save this. I use HomePass, which is a great app by Aaron Pierce, where you can save all of your HomeKit codes. You can get backups and like download PDFs with all your HomeKit codes. And that's what I'll do, so I don't have to keep this around just for the HomeKit code. But I thought that was a strange choice to put it on this and not the physical like light part. You know what I mean?
Yes-ish, because it seems like Apple essentially provides 2 stickers for the pairing codes, right? There's one that's always included in the manual, and there's one included on the product itself.
Right.
If you're looking at this product, this is the faceplate here that I was talking about with the code down here in the corner. If you take off this, you're left with just like that metal frame, which is what you're talking about. Yes. When you have like a 2-gang box. And if you would remove that and not use, this is what attaches the Decora faceplates.
Right.
There's nowhere like on the front that could go. Because you have just the metal bars on the top and the bottom and nothing there. I've seen some that do little drawers that slide out and others that put it on the side of the box itself. But you also can't get to that when it's in there. So I think this does make the most sense for people, but I agree, if you don't use the Decora plate, you don't have it. I was going to immediately say, like, that's why you save everything in HomePass.
Absolutely.
And then you just always have it assigned the right room and all that stuff.
So, yes, I will say that the Levitons specifically, they put the HomeKit code on, like, the metal part of the bottom of the switch. And it's like just fits. Like it doesn't overlap. It's not like a sticker hanging off. But they do manage to put it. I will say with HomePass, I love the app. It's a great app. I had not opened it since I upgraded to my iPhone 14 Pro. And for some reason, I assumed that everything synced via iCloud. Since this, there is a toggle in the HomePass app where you can tell it to automatically export PDFs as a backup to your iCloud drive whenever there's a change. And apparently I did not have that toggled on. And I did exports in the past, but not a super recent one. So I didn't have one of the lights I needed to reconnect just last night, actually. So you can't, like, this is the home. Let me turn my brightness down because no one's going to see it. If you're watching on YouTube, this is the HomePass app. And there is a toggle where you can export a PDF or a CSV file of all your HomePasses, which is really cool. And this iCloud Drive toggle says, when enabled, HomePass will save a PDF containing all your homes and your codes to iCloud Drive whenever there's a change up to the last 5 changes. So I toggled that on, and now it's creating those backup codes. But for some reason, like, I lost like all my devices.
Okay, Steven, though, but what about the one that's right there that says sync? That's, I think, your backup.
I had that.
Like,
I had that enabled.
Anything.
I had that enabled.
Then you may have found a bug, my friend, because I didn't have anything turned on. If I go back to what'd you say that was under? Export?
That's under advanced or export.
Yeah, no. I don't have that enabled. This is my new phone. I haven't opened it since I got my new phone. Everything's here. All of my stuff is here. So it did sync for me via iCloud. Everything moved.
Yeah, and I had that because I thought that sync was I thought that's what it was for, and so I had that enabled. But for some reason, when I upgraded to 14 Pro, I lost some devices. So not a huge deal. I mean, most of my devices have the HomeKit code on it, but I was thinking about it because of this Eve situation specifically. And so, yeah, HomePass is great. You should get it.
So real quick, because we managed to fit a ton in this episode, there was some debate going on online on Eve putting their word mark on the faceplates. So I don't know if you can see, wait for it to focus right there. It does say Eve for anyone who is looking at the video. It's in like a silver, light, very thin print on the bottom of the wall plate. And a lot of people did not like, I don't know about a lot of people, a couple people mentioned they did not like that Eve had their word mark on there. And I did say that these are standard decor faceplates, I believe, so you can just swap them out for any other one that you want.
Right.
And their response was like, I shouldn't have to go buy a new faceplate. I guess, to me, it never bothered me. It's on the first one. I never even thought about it or noticed it. And didn't even notice or think about it on the second one either. But decor faceplates are like, they're like $1 or something. At like Home Depot or something. So like, I don't know. I didn't bother that much. I think it would be like if you wanted them to all match in your home anyway, that's at the point that you would switch out the faceplate. Like you had all dark ones or something, you could swap it out so it would match. Personally, I wouldn't go through the extra effort just to not have their name on the bottom. You don't notice it. It's like, sitting back here, you pretty much don't notice it on your wall. It's a silver super light. It probably looks more prominent in the photos than it does in real life, I think. But yeah, did you have any thoughts on that? Like, did you get offended by it, or did you not mind
honestly
it?
I didn't even see it because I knew I was going to take all that off to put it in my 2 gang. So I didn't even look. I didn't even look. It probably wouldn't bother me too much. I would just get a different decor plate, but it is weird. I mean, I think most other light switches do not include like a branding like that on the exterior. Lutron does. A lot of their lights have so many little icons, little things, but you just get another plate. I think it's all right. So anyway, we just packed a ton into this episode. I'm going to move stuff actually till next week because I had some fun light strip mounting things to talk about. So we'll talk about that next week. So listen, listeners, let us know what you think. If you got a Level Lock Plus, if you got a new Lutron or Eve switch or a Lutron switch, that's cool too. I also want to try some of those Wemo dimmers with thread. So I might be getting one of those.
I was just going to say, Steven, the Wemo ones, they actually have the Wemo name on the light switch itself, not the faceplate. So you can't even remove the faceplate to swap it out. Wow. Like it's on the switch itself. So
well, there you go.
I don't know. I guess I'd rather it on the faceplate.
Yeah, I'd rather it on the faceplate. So anyway, tweeted Andrew and myself. Check out youtube.com/Apple Insider. Andrew's got a ton of videos on there, including the Apple TV. Level Lock Plus will be going up there as well. Give us a 5-star rating in Apple Podcasts. And of course, youtube.com/HomeKit Insider to watch us shuck and jive here in video. Thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you next time.
See you guys.